Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look again on the cryptocurrencies. Sive Morten here with the Forex Peace Army.com, starting from the higher time frame, which is weekly. And here we have the performance that I mentioned last week that with the way how market performs here, it absolutely doesn't look bullish. So initially, it was an idea that probably, who knows, maybe market is trying to show the bounce up right from here instead of the moving lower. But with the 3 weeks past and the way how market performs on lower time frames and the way how it performs here, forming tight kind of the flag consolidation, it most seems like so that it remains bearish. And the only reason why market stopped here is oversold. So it needs to go out of the pressure of the oversold area, and then it could keep going lower. So from that standpoint of view, this performance, this kind of action looks bearish because here market doesn't show any signs or attempt to reverse. Compares, for instance, for this one. Chances that it could keep going lower and return back to the 8 even, slightly lower, taken out of these lows, and approximately the same range where stands the previous lows with our hand shoulders pattern currently looks solid. So I think that it really might happen in the nearest time. On the next chart, on the daily, you could see what actually has happened recently. Not occasionally, we said last week here when the market was not able to break 94 area, we said this looks bad, this is bearish, this should not happen. In normal bullish market, it has to keep going higher, but it was not able to do this, and that was the reason why we were standing flat and not considering taking new longs. When it dropped out yesterday, it was, well, I don't know how to call it, but for me it is really seems like the big manipulation on the market. It's based on the shape of the price that you see is definitely some market makers and big whales tricks. So it's very difficult to call as a reasonable performance. But whatever it was, the result and the product will be bearish because we've got the bearish reversal candle. So market was trying to move higher, move above the top, not only on the session before, but the previous session as well, then returns right back down and close very low, maybe not below the lows of the session, but near the bottom. And with the bearish trend intact and with the things that we just discussed on the weekly chart, in such circumstances, personally, I do not want to take any long position in the current situation. On the 4 time frame chart, you could see some support, so market stands near the same 86 support. So yes, it has tried, it failed, but it remains in the same area, and you could argue that we have a few grabbers here that are forming. Well, concerning this particular setup, overall market mechanics doesn't inspire me to take the long position, but I could agree that today is a big event, so we have lots of central banks meeting, we have the data, important data releases. Okay, maybe data is not as important for the Bitcoin in particular, but Bank of Japan statement might be interesting and might be important for the Bitcoin as well. So from that standpoint of view, maybe it's kind of the wild card could work. It's a kind of the, here is, well, it will be more like the lottery if you would like to take the position here. Because you do not have any clear bullish background, you're just based your position on some minor patterns, hope that market will just skyrocket. As I said, it will be some kind of the wildcard decision. So maybe it will work. If you would like to, well, you could try. Another moment which might make this scenario more or less attractive, if you would like to call it in this way, you could place very tight stops. So just below these lows, it will be enough because here's the grabbers. You're based your position based on the grabbers. You hide stop here. It's very small distance, approximately 1,500 Bitcoin. And if you will get lucky and you will be correct, the market indeed will start jumping here by some reasons. I don't know what it might be. You'll get the great trade. That's possible. But as I said, this conclusion is not based on any background. We do not have the real technical background for this suggestion. It might be just occasionally based on some external factors, external events. Bank of Japan will tell something, some data will be released, some event will happen or something like this. Or a big whale will intrude, who knows. Such events are not under control and it's not coming from the analysis. They are just occasional. So and when you place the deal with these patrons, you're trying to make a bet on this such event. So in lower time frame, I also do not see something really good. That was some kind of the rejection of the price. You can see great big engulfing pattern has been formed. Potentially it is bearish, and this type of the performance is very difficult to call as a reversal. So it's more like the just pullback after this collapse, and more looks bearish in favor of the possible further downside continuation, either in the way of the ABCD pattern or some other pattern. But that's definitely not the price performance that you would like to see when you intend to take the long position. That's my conclusion on the current situation. Personally, I do not intend to take any longs, despite that we have this one. If you would like to, you could try it. So maybe it will be, as I said, just occasional success. But for me now, the picture that I see currently on the daily chart, together with the weekly pattern, it seems more that market chances that market will keep going lower down to the lows are increasing for now. So let's just see what will happen today.